That's on. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, we could. I don't know. Let's do Fantastic Four first, I think. No,
And then Jurassic Park, and then Fantastic Four,
then
and
touch
then-
base on Indian.
Cool. Alright, cool.
All right. You got the intro? Here we go.
Yeah. Hey guys, what's up? Thank you for coming out. We are the Relatable Nerds. We're actually a nerdy pop culture podcast. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sean. Oh, thank you, Chuck. Thank you guys so much for being here. We're so excited.
Yes.
We've been to Fan Expo a couple times now, so it's nice to be back.
Yeah, this is like our third year here, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just making up numbers. We do hail from Chicago, so this is like
It's a hometown show.
our favorite expo, our favorite con, if you will. We love
good
doing
time here.
it. Basically, we discuss like a lot of everything that's here: Marvel, Star Wars, DC, Dune.
Science fiction, all the good comic stuff, you guys. Batman, we talk about it all. We really, really do. It's hard to keep up with all of it, honestly, because there's so many TV shows now. There's so many movies. There's even more comics. I feel like now I don't have enough time to read as much anymore because of all these shows and stuff, you know?
Yeah,
I'm trying.
I spend a lot of time doom scrolling, so I don't
Yeah.
really have any time to read anymore.
It's so
but
relatable, again.
I definitely was a big reader when
Yeah, COVID during the pandemic. I think we
Yeah.
both were. We had that contest. Shout out Rod from the Dune cast in the crowd right now. We had a little book club going on during COVID, and
oh my god, yes,
was fun.
that was so good.
it
We
was a
need to
good
do that
time.
again.
Rod reads 1,000 books a month, I think, at this point. We started a contest with 100 books a year. I think I got to 6, and I was like, yeah, I'm dropping out. You guys were killing me in this challenge.
I
There's
think
no-
Rod ended up winning, but I had him. I had you for a while though.
Yeah, you guys were neck and neck.
We were neck and neck for a while.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys for sitting here chilling with us. Basically, what we do on this podcast, if you never listened to it, is we just talk about nerdy stuff and we talk to each other.
Yeah.
So, Kyra, how was your week?
Yeah, this is our favorite segment in the beginning, you guys. Wow, where do I start? I was at Fan Expo Boston this past weekend. That was amazing. First time in Boston. It was so much fun. I know it gets a really bad reputation. People say the Boston natives are mean. I thought they were welcoming, you know?
Is anybody from Boston?
Anybody from Boston in the crowd? No one?
Anybody
Not
been
a
to Boston?
soul. Anybody been to Boston? Any East Coast you have? It's not that bad,
There
right?
you go.
The food was amazing. I like seafood. I don't love seafood, but I will never eat an oyster in the Midwest again. Let me just say that much. The oysters in Boston were life-changing.
East Coast.
Yeah. But yeah, I went to Salem, Massachusetts for the first time. That was cool. Very into horror, very into Halloween. It's never too
Oh,
early to
God,
start.
yes.
So that was a good time. But other than that, yeah, back in Chicago, and I honestly, I didn't miss it that much. It's fun here, but it's hot now again. It was hot in Boston, but it was a little bit cooler than Chicago, so I didn't miss the humidity.
No, the humidity is disgusting. I don't like it either. But I will take summer over any other season.
Absolutely. How was your week?
Oh, it was great. It was my birthday weekend.
Ooh.
I went out.
21,
yes,
right?
Exactly. 2-1. We went insane. It was amazing. Partied all week, basically. It was chill time.
Yeah.
But I think what we need to start talking about.
Our nerd news.
Yes, exactly. What's going on?
We got a lot of nerd news this week.
Did anybody hear about Jurassic Park being re-released in 3D?
No one? No
No,
Jurassic Park
not
fans
one
out there?
person.
Crickets. We love dinosaurs. I know everybody has opinions about the new Jurassic Park movies. They're so fun. I mean, I'm excited every time I see one. They might not be the best quality.
This is
But hey.
Samuel L. Jackson in Jurassic Park on the back of my phone because it is my favorite movie of all time. So the fact that you guys do not like Jurassic Park
Come
is
on.
almost personally insulting to myself.
We don't stand for bullying, but we might bully you about not liking dinosaurs. I don't know. Something's wrong with you, honestly. It's just a you problem. But it's being re-released. 30th anniversary? Shit.
30th anniversary. They're re-releasing The Godfather too. I almost said The Sopranos.
Oh man, that's a double feature weekend if I ever heard one.
Yeah,
Dinosaurs
right?
and drug lords. Let's go.
I think the writer's strike has really gotten us.
Yeah,
We're
they got to
just
start
not-
re-releasing movies from 30 years ago. And you know what? I'm here
Precisely.
for it. I'm
Bye.
glad.
Thank you for coming.
But yeah, they're re-releasing Jurassic Park. That's cool. I'm gonna go see it. I didn't know that until you told me.
I'm absolutely
and
gonna
I'm
go
like,
see it. I
I'll
can't
probably
wait
go
to
see it a
in
couple
3D.
times. I never got to see Jurassic Park in theaters. I was a little too young at that point. It was in the 90s, revealing my age. But 30th anniversary, I'm 30, so I feel like I have to go.
Let's go.
It's
Let's
almost
do
like
it.
a moment. It's a moment. I'm excited for it.
What else are you excited for?
I'm excited for Fantastic Four.
Me too.
You guys, we got a whole Fantastic Four casting. Not confirmed, but kind of.
They've been confirming like every other week who
It's hard
who the
to keep
cast
up.
is. So I think we're gonna come here right now and tell you who we think should be cast for this show.
Yeah, truthfully, it's been an emotional journey with the Fantastic Four because we had them show up again. I mean, we have the original movies that I thought were fun. They weren't amazing, but they were fun. I
They were all right.
appreciated them. But now we have the Fantastic Four that came back in Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. That was really, really cool. They all got just shredded, basically. I don't think I was ready for Reed Richards getting shredded
Well,
like
he
string cheese.
literally got shredded.
That
yeah.
was that hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
And then I mean,
I loved it.
I
I
love-
really enjoyed watching that happen to him. I loved watching Wanda murder these like amazing Avengers. I thought it was so cool. I was like, girl power, let's go.
She did it so easy. I don't even think she broke a sweat. I mean,
She
didn't
didn't.
even blink.
She wasn't even there. She was
Yeah.
using an avatar.
She was like force putting herself there. It was nuts. It was enjoyable, and it happened all in 5 minutes. That was the 5 minutes we got out of the Fantastic Four. I wasn't mad about it though.
I wasn't mad about it.
But they're bringing
either.
him
I
back,
liked
you
it.
guys. They're bringing him back. In that cast, obviously, we had John Krasinski as Reed Richards. I really liked that casting. But now, allegedly, this is not confirmed, we have Matt Smith as Reed Richards. I'm a fan of Matt Smith, especially
Okay.
after this past year. I really enjoyed House of the Dragon. We're big Game of Thrones fans as well. Doctor Who,
Yeah.
not super into it. Know a lot of people who love it, and I know he was a big part of Doctor Who. And, of course, Morbius. He was in Morbius.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing problematic about him being an uncle that buried his niece.
That's kind of gross. It is. That's Game of Thrones, though.
Heard it here first. Not problematic. Anyway, who else do we have joining the cast?
We have Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, which when I initially saw this casting, I'm not super familiar with Vanessa Kirby's, her resume. And I realized that is because she's in all the Mission Impossible movies. And I'm not really a big fan of Mission Impossible. I'm not a big fan of Tom Cruise and all that. So
I
that's
love
why I didn't
Tom
know who
Cruise.
she is.
I don't know. He's like Nick Cage or like Tom. I don't know. Understand why these people hate them. I just really am into them.
He's weird.
She's alright.
Anyways,
Who else do we have?
We have Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm. Joseph Quinn just showed up in Stranger Things right now. He was a big part of Stranger Things season 4. He had an epic casting. He was amazing. I like him. I don't think he's Johnny Storm though. He doesn't give off Johnny Storm energy.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He's kind of like the emo goth kid in the corner, Like I don't want him to play Johnny Storm.
All right, we'll wait until you get into our fan castings because we're gonna have to talk. What's the next one?
And then Eben Moss, forgive me for his pronunciation of this name, Bachrach. I don't even know.
Ebon Moss back crack as the Thing.
This is the guy who absolutely killed it in The Bear. He was absolutely amazing. He played Richie in The Bear. He had a really, really great episode. And he also was in Girls.
He was in Girls.
Girls. He's been popping up. He was in Andor. I like that casting. I really like him. I think he deserves a lot more as an actor. He's coming up.
Okay, but who would you want to be in the movie?
I would like to see Adam Driver as Reed Richards.
Same.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. At first I wasn't sure. I was like thinking, he'd be a better Doctor Doom. But then we talked about it. We were like, we could do like a Parent Trap. He's a better actor than Lindsay Lohan, so he could definitely play both of those characters and go back and forth. Absolutely. But I just think that he already played Kylo Ren, so maybe like I'm being biased when I say like play Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
But I think he could do a really good job as Reed Richards, and he is my number one pick for Reed Richards.
I mean, when that news broke, what was it, like a couple months ago now? I didn't realize it yet, and we were recording one of our episodes, and she purposely didn't tell me this. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I love Kylo Ren, and you looked at me and you're like, all right, here's the alleged Reed Richards casting, and you said Adam Driver. I think we had to pause the episode. I was a wreck. I was like, something like, like literally, that's the best thing I've ever heard.
A wreck or erect?
Both.
Okay.
But yeah, we have that. I think we're both on the same page with him as playing Reed Richards.
We are, yeah.
Who do you have for Sue Storm?
Okay, for Sue Storm, I have none other than Adria Arjona. Okay, that is the babe you know from Andor and from
Yes.
Morbius. Okay, she's a hot Puerto Rican babe, like the one right next to me. Okay.
Represent.
And I just love her. I think she'd be amazing Sue Storm. I think she would have amazing chemistry with Adam Driver. And she's already like a badass action hero. Like, I think that's her path, and I'd like her to do more.
I'm here for that. I co-sign. That's it. That should be Sue Storm. 100%. I agree. I have no objections. I love her. I honestly forgot about Andor. She was amazing in Andor.
Yeah.
And, you know, she kind of plays Diego Luna's, Cassian Andor's kind of love interest in a way. You know, they like hint at it in Star Wars. They can't really go the extra mile. They're just kind of, it's a kid's show, you know? But, yeah, I really do enjoy her. I think that would be great.
So you're not even going to say one because
Right.
you're like, forget it.
Yeah. What?
You're like, forget it. You're right. It was definitely
That's
Adria
it.
Arjona.
You did it.
They
should hire you as a casting director.
It. They should.
Now,
I'm available.
let's get into Johnny Storm because this is a fan favorite. We both are tapping back. I think we talked about this briefly, you guys. We kind of wanted to give our own castings on the spot here live, but we had to talk about this one because we both love Johnny Storm. I mean, in the originals, Chris Evans, and he did a great job, and then, you know, they recasted him as
was
Captain
good.
America, which I love it. I like that they did the right thing there. Marvel knows what they're doing every now and then. But
Or they just don't know many actors.
they just right? They recast everyone. They just borrow
Right.
from DC and everything and Disney. But hey, it happens, you know? Johnny Storm, I would love to see Zac Efron as Johnny Storm.
Troy Bolton as Johnny Storm. I'm so into that.
Yeah. Maybe he could
is he
sing.
Is he a little old now? I hate to say that, but is he a little old to play Johnny Storm?
Could
as
he
baby
continue?
Zac Efron?
Right. Because I think with this, obviously, it's a Fantastic Four movie. It's not going to come out till 2024, 2025 now with the SAG-AFTRA strike. I don't know if he can continue on for 10 years into this world. That's a big
I don't know if he's
contract
gonna
to
live that
sign.
long. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's
No,
looking pretty rough these days.
I love that because why hasn't MCU scooped up Zac Efron yet?
It's
It's kind
insane.
of crazy.
He's the perfect poster boy for all of this, and everyone would love him, you know?
I went a different direction because I just am so like estranged in my casting. But
Yeah.
I went to Makanyu Arata. He's a Japanese actor. He's skilled at martial arts. He's a freaking like badass. He's gonna be in the new One Piece Netflix. He was in Pacific Rim Uprising so he already knows Adria Arjona. I think that he would be a good match for that. I think like he's kind of an a-hole, so he would match like those Johnny Storm vibes. I wonder if he could do like the extreme confidence though.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point to bring in an Asian actor, a Japanese actor, somebody. It doesn't have to be this cliche copy and paste from the comic book. Like, there is room here to integrate all walks of life. I feel like even Steven Yeun could potentially jump in, you know, as Johnny
He's
Storm.
too old.
I don't know. I think he could. I think he could handle it. I don't know. But that, yeah.
I mean, they could switch that Johnny Storm is older than Sue Storm, but
True. I don't know. We'll see. Marvel kind of, they do what they want. They switch the script sometime. But last but not least, you guys, The Thing. Ilsa, who do you got?
So if you were mad at me for my other castings, you're going to be really mad at me for this one. I think that the rumor that Mila Kunis was going to do it absolutely made me like on that side. Because if you guys, does anyone like Invincible?
No. Fans. We got a
Yes,
couple of Invincible
somebody.
fans.
Monster
Yes.
Girl. I raise you Monster Girl, okay? Mila Kunis as Thing is giving Monster Girl 100%.
Yeah.
And if you, please read that comic. Please continue to watch that series because it just gets so crazier and crazier and crazier. And I just think that that's when that rumor, and they were like, that's so funny. I can't believe they would even talk to her. I was like, I can. She is such a comedic actress. She could bring so much to that character. And also, like, oh, it was so hard for this, like, man. It was like, I'm ugly, I'm a rock now. With the standards put on women to be beautiful, it would be 100% harder for her to become a rock man, okay? So I just think it would raise the stakes in an amazing way. And she would also add, like, she has such this, or The Rock and Johnny Storm, or The Rock, The Thing, sorry.
He is
the
a
Thing,
yeah,
he is
it's
a
kind
rock.
of rocky, you know.
The Thing and Johnny Storm have such this, like, relationship where they make fun of each other and it's, like, back and forth. And I just think that Mila Kunis would be really good to go back and forth with because of how good of a comedic actress she is.
I'm here for that. She would give a really good complex to that character for it being a male in the comics but being a woman on screen. I think that's a really great idea. Again, co-sign with you on that one. I love Mila Kunis. Mila Kunis has this just dominant energy about her, and I think she could literally play any role. She's hilarious. She just has this charisma that you would want to see her kind of, as sick as it sounds, go through these battles the Thing had faced through the comics. I feel like she could play that role well, and people would love her.
And better.
Yeah.
I think that we need to recognize that these comics were written in the 60s where every single person in the world was a white man, and we need to realize that that's not true anymore.
Yeah, it's time to move on, Marvel. You got to start out being a little more inclusive here. They're trying, but I mean, they still need a lot of work. A lot of work needs to be done.
Call us, bruh.
Yeah.
Call us. We
We
got
already
your
know
back,
Jon
bruh.
Favreau's tuning in. Let's move on from the Fantastic Four, you guys. A big part of our podcast is inclusivity. We like talking about all cultures, all parts of the world, all cinema. It's not just about North America, United States cinema for us. We are huge fans of Indian cinema.
That's true.
Bollywood, Tollywood, everything has taken over our lives, and we are not mad about it for a second. On our YouTube channel, we have a lot of people commenting what we should react to. Really like different movies, really out there music videos, and you know what? We want to learn more about everyone. We got into Bollywood it's almost been 2 years since we've got into Bollywood now.
That's crazy.
We've been on a
crazy
journey.
to think about. Yeah, you're right.
And it's been amazing. And this show would not be complete if we didn't talk about some of the upcoming Bollywood movies that you guys, we want to put on your radar because a lot of them are very similar to Marvel's superhero movies. This one in particular, we have Project
better.
K.
Honestly, they're doing it better.
They're way better. Kalki 2898 AD. That's a mouthful. Other known as Project K. This just premiered the trailer at San Diego Comic-Con last month. They're trying to finally integrate Bollywood in United States Comic-Cons.
I know, it's coming.
Finally.
It's on the way here. It is where you probably already have seen like a couple of movies. I don't know, has anyone seen RRR?
Yeah, RRR was amazing. That's on Netflix right now.
Probably the best movie I've ever seen in my life, honey.
just-
I was like dying.
They just won an Oscar for actually best song.
Yeah.
Like that, they just, or a grant. Yeah, no, it was an Oscar. It was an Oscar. Either
was
or,
so
they
good.
got finally represented. They finally got that recognition that they deserve because everyone in Bollywood, you're not just an actor. You're a singer, you're a dancer, you're a personality, and most of all, you're humble. A lot of these actors are humble, but Project K is coming out very, very soon. At the beginning of 2024, this is going to star Prabhas, which is an Indian superstar, basically, in India. And it's a science fiction Indian movie.
We love sci-fi.
We reacted to this trailer like a couple weeks ago, and it looks kind of just like Dune, if you're any Dune fans out there. It's similar to Dune, but you have to understand when you go into...
This whole podcast is just about
It's
Rod.
about Dune. You go
Dunecast. Shout out
Yeah.
Dunecast.
You go into an Indian movie and you find that they are larger than life, and I almost feel like it's going to give Dune a run for its money. This trailer was absolutely insane.
No.
Yeah, it is. It is. I
Okay.
stand by that.
Okay.
That's a movie to keep on your radar, you guys. That's going to be coming out early 2024. We also have Jawan coming out, starring another Indian superstar, SRK Shah Rukh Khan. That's coming out in just a couple weeks, September 7th. This one is a little bit different because with Indian cinema, it's usually a lot of
female empowerment.
Yeah,
this one,
it's
which
going to
is
be
exciting.
a lot of
There's
female
a lot
warriors.
of female warriors in this one. It was giving like Black Widow vibes. I was really into this one.
Yeah, which a big theme in India. It's a lot of men who are the fighters, the warriors, and rightfully so in mythology. But there are a lot of women, and right now they're starting to highlight women empowerment in India, and I think it's really, really cool to watch. And they have one of the biggest, if not one of the biggest movie stars ever, SRK, at the forefront of that movie.
Exactly. Women can kick your ass and be the reason you want to kick other people's asses. We could do both. Men, what can you do? Just one. Okay, thank
Guys,
you.
keep that one on your radar. Coming out September 7th. That one's going to be amazing. We got a couple dance numbers in that one as well. In every Indian movie, you're going to see a couple dance numbers. And that's like the coolest part because they'll just be completely...
That is like my favorite part.
They will literally just be like fighting everyone. There will be knives. There will be bombs. There'll be explosions. They'll be jumping out of jets, fire, everything.
And then they'll see their friend at the club and then they'll just like
start
break
dancing.
out and dance and
They're
it's
just
amazing.
in a club. It's crazy. They will use their guns as a dance prop. Like it's
just
amazing.
Like real life.
It's crazy. And then last but not least, you guys, one of our favorite actors to react to, VJ.
Correct.
One of the most beloved Indian actors. You guys need to know who this is because he is such a good person. He does so much for the community. He gives back. He speaks up against a lot of these corrupt government ideas, and he is just an amazing human. The more we learn about him, the more we love him, we appreciate him, and he's just a great actor. He does all his own stunts. He'll jump from 20 feet into a lake like it's nothing.
We watched him jump off of a bridge into a lake by himself, and I was like, you don't have to do that,
but
King,
he did.
But he did
it.
it.
He was like, I will, and he did. He has this movie coming out, you guys, Bloody Sweet.
Leo Bloody Sweet.
Leo Bloody Sweet, October 19th, 2023. This movie is going to be violent. It's full of weapons, and it's full of chocolate.
Yeah. Every time there's chocolate, there's also blood.
Yeah, he hides all of his weapons in chocolate.
I don't know if that made sense, but actually it would make sense to all women.
Yeah.
So what were like some of your favorite movies of the year so far?
We had a lot of good ones this year. I think number one on my list so far
like the same ones.
is Across the Spider-Verse.
I agree, yeah.
Anyone co-sign on that one? Across the Spider-Verse, amazing.
Yes,
we have Shamik Moore over here too this weekend. He has a panel tomorrow at 4 p.m.
He's right over here.
Yeah, you guys can go see him live and I know he's trying to become Miles in live action, but unfortunately they're saying he's a little too old. I don't know.
That's messed up, bruh. Botox exists, okay? Like we can make this happen for him.
Yeah.
I loved it. My standout character was obviously Spider-Punk. Loved me some Hobie Brown. I was like very into the way that how far he's come, because he premiered in like an Amazing Spider-Man so long ago, written by Dan Slott, and he was American. Now he's like British, like
he's got the accent.
It was amazing. Like I really like his journey and who they made him, and I love that line. Oh, you're even cooler without the mask.
Yeah,
he really was.
His costume was amazing. His suit was so cool with the little spikes. He had the guitar. I really like that. I honestly can't pick a favorite Spider-Man from that movie because they were all incredible, and the more you learn about the backstory of the different Spider-Men that were featured, like the Lego Spider-Man, that was like a straight up, I think, like 10-year-old who filmed that with his father, Lego Spider-Man, and that whole segment. Sorry, you guys, spoilers ahead if you haven't seen Across the Spider-Verse. Honestly, what are you doing with your life if you haven't yet? I will literally give you money to rent it if you need to because this movie is amazing. Everybody should have seen it by now.
Come see Kyra after the show because she'll give you ticket money.
I'll Venmo you to see Across the Spider-Verse.
Bring your Venmo. Just lie. Just lie. Say I haven't seen it yet.
But it was one of the best movies. It is the best movie of the year for me so far. I think that was one of the worst cliffhangers of my life.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
I literally was so in it. I forgot that it was a 2-part movie, and we always knew it was 2 parts from the beginning, and I literally was like, how are they going to... I was, like, looking at my watch. I was like, how are they going to finish
It's
this?
been almost
how
3
are they
hours.
Gonna finish everything? And, like... I was like, are we here for 4 or 5 hours? I was like, I'm strapping in.
Ready.
I was ready to go. I was like, yeah, I'll sit here for that long. Let's go.
We're on hour 3, and it doesn't feel like Oppenheimer, you know? Like, I'm still here, and I'm still in it, and I'm not yawning.
I'm so here. I'm so in
Didn't
it.
even
They
need to use
really
the bathroom,
kept,
you know? I didn't go to the bathroom that whole movie, because I was Oppenheimer. I'm like, oh, I can leave now. It's getting a little weird, a little boring, a little dry.
This episode is sponsored by Depends.
Yeah. We loved Across the Spider-Verse. Any other of your favorites?
Barbie.
Second on my list.
Obviously. That was the best movie I've ever seen in my entire effing life.
So good.
Yes, Regina George's mom. I see you, queen. Let's go.
She's a cool mom. She came to the Relatable Nerds show.
Where's your chihuahua, girl?
Oh,
yes!
she's got the...
Oh, my God. Alcohol or non-alcoholic? Is there
She can't confirm nor
this?
deny. I'd rather you do it at home or the Comic-Con. It's safe here. It's a safe place.
It's a safe place at the Comic-Con. You're safe, honey.
Yeah. Barbie was amazing. I had a whole Barbie day. I literally planned this day a month in advance. I took off work. I went to a Barbie cafe in Chicago.
Yeah.
It was amazing. The photo ops were so good. They had
I have a friend that got fired from there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about that later.
It was a good time, you guys. Tune into the Patreon for the gossip if you want. We have one of those. It was so good. I was not ready to cry that much. Again, spoilers ahead. If you guys haven't seen Barbie, again, what are you doing with your life?
Listen to this.
Amazing movie. It was so good. I, again, wasn't prepared to cry that much. America Ferrera stole the show for me. Her speech about just being a normal...
Yeah.
I can't talk about it too much or you know I'm going to start crying. I get very emotional with certain things. That was one of them. I literally had a girl lean over and she, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not okay. My shirt is like drenched because I'm like, stuck and crying. I was at one point like...
I'm sweating, I'm crying, I'm throwing
all
up.
of the
I peed
above.
myself. I just couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just so good.
I went like opening day with like a bunch of people. It was for like a girl's birthday. And so we were half the theater and we were screaming, crying, throwing up. We were in it, everything.
So-
The scene where all the Kens are playing guitar to you. And I was like, oh my God, I have absolutely had a half-naked man sing guitar to me.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. This is something that most women can relate to. It was so real.
It's so true. Once they bust out the guitar, it's like, oh no, red flag. I gotta go. This is not gonna end
But
well. They're singing
sometimes
me
they're
a song.
super hot and you don't want to leave. Okay?
I mean, if it's Ryan
and you
Gosling,
just
I might stick around.
Just wait until they're finished singing their John Mayer song and you go
Your
to work.
body
you know?
is a wonder. Oh man, I wonder how many times he did that.
I
you
didn't
know?
need to hear that before. You were already so hot, but okay, I guess this is what I have to deal with.
I was tuning you out, and now I have to listen because you brought an instrument.
You wake up, you're like, oh, is it over? Okay, can we go?
Oh, wow, that was great. I'm going to go now. My Uber's here. Oh, that's so weird. Like, I didn't even call it.
So weird.
I must have planned it ahead of time.
Oh, my God, that's so funny.
Yeah,
my mom's in charge of my Uber.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I have to go. I think my favorite thing about Barbie, though, is the culture that was built. All of these women that went to the theaters dressed up in pink. I'm not, as you can tell, I wear black for the most part. Don't wear a lot of color in my wardrobe. Not pink,
when
not purple,
we
anything.
did the Barbie cocktail episode
Yeah.
and you came over in something pink, I was like, Kyra, who did you borrow that from?
Yeah.
Like, where did you get that? I've never seen you in pink in my entire effing life.
I don't really wear pink that much. And I literally was just like, the whole week at my bar, because I work by a theater. And I had a lot of Barbies coming down, walking through. And after you see this movie, you know anybody can be a Barbie. Everybody is Barbie. Another one of my favorite parts. And it was just so cool to have
you're
people.
Lucky if you're Alan.
Yeah, Alan, always. We love an ally. Michael Cera, perfect role for that. I had a lot of people sign their, you know, when you tip out and you sign your name after you close out with your card. Somebody wrote, "Thanks, Barbie."
I love that.
I was stunned. I told all my regulars at the bar immediately. I made them look at it, and I took a picture, and I'm going to frame it because I'm like, wow, like, it was just amazing. She came in a pink outfit and a feather boa, and I'm like, did you go to Harry Styles or Barbie, you know? Because the feather boas, which we've been. We know both roads, okay? Hi, Barbie. Any other favorite movies?
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was my favorite movie, actually, of this year. Maybe even over Barbie. I just love that Marvel has been slapping us in the face with the fact that we need to be better people.
Oh
and
my God.
I really liked this movie and the lesson behind it. And I'm like, thank you, James Gunn, for like doing this. Just the fact that they like started the movie with like I'm a creep. I'm a weird.
okay.
I was like, oh my God, relatable.
I'm in the right theater.
I'm in
This
the
is my
correct
place.
theater. Rocket's backstory, cried, sobbed during the whole movie. It was just a cinematic masterpiece. And I feel like the reasons that the Guardians of the Galaxy got popularity, despite not being Spider-Man, despite not being Iron Man, like, it was because they're so relatable. Like, we can see ourselves in these characters. If not one, it's the other. But it's definitely, for me, it's like multiple.
Yeah,
and I
there's
just
levels.
really just, like, yes, Drax is stupid, but that is why we love him, okay?
Right.
Like, we see through your flaws. You are you're a soul, okay? You're good. It was beautiful to me.
Yeah,
I loved it.
The camaraderie, it's like, that's the group of misfits I always wish I was a part of, you know? And the story of how they all came together is just so special and so magical. And I mean, I don't think anything, it was a tie between Barbie and Rocket's backstory for me crying the most this year. Rocket's backstory, I felt personally victimized by that. I was crying so hard. That was one of the saddest things I've ever seen in my life.
We should do a candlelight vigil after this for Floor,
So good.
Chiefs, Lila.
And you know what? I'm really excited going off that note. James Gunn moving on to DC. There's hope for DC now. You know?
Yes,
There
DC
is.
finally has hope.
There's a
They
silver
didn't have any
lining now.
hope.
I really love Guardians. I love the new Evil Dead movie. Did you catch that at all?
No.
It's pretty good. It was cheesy, cliche, a lot of blood. It was so much
Love
fun
that.
front to back. Yeah, it was a good time. It wasn't the best horror movie I've ever seen, but I thoroughly enjoyed watching it.
I like bad horror movies.
Same. Those are the best ones.
Like the Scream, like every single time a Scream comes out, I'm like very into it.
Oh, and those like classic,
'Cause
like
it's not that
Scream
scary.
Queens. Yeah, but you get in the moment and you're like, oh my God, you know? And then we got some upcoming movies for the end of this year. The year's not over yet, you guys. It's only August, if you can believe that. We have a lot of upcoming TV shows, a lot of movies, but I think something me and Ilsa are both extremely excited for is Dune.
Timothy Chalamet, yes.
Dune Part 2. And Timothy Chalamet is going to have a hell of a year for the rest of the year. He's got Willy Wonka and Dune Part 2. Don't sleep on Willy Wonka. It's going to be horribly great.
It's going to
Horribly
be
great.
really bad and good.
Yeah, it's going to be both at the same
It's going
time.
to be delicious
Still going to watch.
and bad for you.
Yeah. Dune Part 2, obviously, you guys, we are huge Dune fans. We have both read the series. We do a lot of deep dive discussions on this. When we started our YouTube journey, we started doing trailer reactions kind of randomly. We're like, let's just try it. And we reacted to Dune. We didn't even really know how to edit at that point. We just put a camera in front of us, no lighting. And we were like, let's just watch Dune live together. And we did, and it kind of went viral. And it was like an amazing moment. It was like, wow, this is cool. There's people like
It was
us
a
out there.
sign from the universe that we need to keep talking about Dune all the time forever.
Yeah.
And keep trying to get more people to be into it.
Yeah.
Because every time I hear people say, like, Doom, I'm always like, Dune?
You mean Dune?
Do you say Dune? They're like, no, I said Doom.
Dune, no.
It's
Dune, no.
like, no.
I think not a lot of people know that if you like Star Wars, you like Dune. Like, you don't really have a say in that because Star Wars, I love Star Wars, you guys. I am one of the biggest Star Wars fans you'll ever meet. My dog is named Han Solo. Like, I live and die for this trilogy. I was a prequelist my whole life, and I will defend it till my last breath. But Dune did it paved the way for a lot of science fiction we've seen today, especially Star Wars, because I mean, I think Star Wars kind of did a crappier end note on it because it was women Jedi. It was the Bene Gesserit witches. It was all women. There were no men involved. And that was just so integral at that point in the 70s, late 60s when Dune came out. Not a lot of people were giving women a lot of power. And for Frank Herbert to come out and just be like, hey, women are the most
Women are
powerful.
people. That
Yeah.
was really powerful,
Yeah.
at that time. Yeah.
I really love that about Dune. And I mean, there's so many parallels from Star Wars. We're on a sand planet. It seems to be the theme when you're in space. You go to a sand planet or you go to Mars. You know, that's pretty much it. You have the spice as well, which Han Solo, you know, was a big smuggler of. And it's just, there's a lot of parallels. The Chosen Ones,
Yeah,
I don't want to
exactly.
spoil it for anyone. I mean, there's going to be more in the future that really goes with Star Wars. That's why you got to go see Dune Part 2. Right, Rod? Because you're gonna see it and you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, there's that, there's this. Wait, it's too much now. It's too much. But it's the right enough.
And if you're not going to see it for the storyline, at least see it for Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya. Josh Brolin is returning in this one. I know we lost 2 hotties. We lost Jason Momoa and we lost Oscar Isaac. But trust me, like, there's going to be enough hot people in this next one to sustain you. They added Austin Butler. He is wearing a bald cap.
Oh, yeah. This doesn't look like Austin Butler in this, you guys. He's not going to look like Elvis, and I think he's been practicing the voice, so he won't sound like Elvis either.
I want him to sound like Elvis.
I don't know.
I really do.
I hope there's like some, because they're going to start doing press coverage. It'd be funny if he like does an interview and he's just like, thank you very much. Like he kind of breaks out in Elvis and it's like, what are you doing, dude? You got away with this on the Elvis press tour, but it's Dune now, dude. Like, practice a little bit.
I know, but he was still doing the voice when he was acting in Dune. So now I'm like wondering. I'm like, wait, was this like a bit? Were you doing like the world's greatest
He's so
bit?
method. He didn't know how to get out of it. Yeah.
No, but then he was like going back and forth. I was like, how are you doing that? He might be the world's greatest actor. I don't know. Yet to see. We all might find that out later.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys. So we got a lot of upcoming stuff coming up, but we are going to just go right into one of our shows we just started reacting to. Secret Invasion just wrapped up a couple weeks ago, and a lot of people were iffy about this one. We watched the whole series through. We broke down each episode. We were really stoked to see Nick Fury again. I feel like Nick Fury kind of just was always in the background. He kind of ran things in the beginning, but then the blip happened, and now we have a show about him, and it's really great. I really enjoyed Secret Invasion. I thought it was a great show.
Thank you so much for saying that, because so many people that I know were like, this is the end of the MCU. It is over now after seeing that. And I was like, I feel like I watched a different show.
Yeah. We watched the same thing.
I liked it. I was like into the whole spy thing, and like, I don't know. It was good for me.
Yeah.
I loved, again, I feel like Marvel is slapping us in the face to be like, be a good person. Stop being crappy to each other. I loved Talos, okay? I loved him. I really loved it. Like, I didn't know, because it was a spy film or episodic, and I was like, I don't know if he's good or not, or if he's like lying to Nick Fury. And then you find out that he's been loyal to Nick Fury this whole time. He is the true immigrant experience. He is just like this hardworking guy that got taken from his land from like violence, and just wants to belong somewhere. And he's like, I'm just gonna keep my head down and be good, and I'm gonna be good, and one day they're gonna accept me. And that was so heartbreaking for me to like, he kept that up the entire time. He was
Spoilers
like
ahead.
The ultimate form of love. He just kept being good his entire time he was there on Earth, just wanting to be accepted in his own skin, and they wouldn't accept him. And he told Gaia, like, you know what I'm going to do? You know what my plan is? To save the president. And then, like, Americans are going to accept me. And it's like, and she was like, bruh, they're not going to accept you. Like, they're not. And he was like, no, I'm going to keep my head down. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to stay good. And that is how he lost his life. And I thought it was beautiful. I loved his story from beginning to end. And I feel like we could all learn a lesson from that.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard to, I feel like we're always on Nick Fury's side, you know? We always want to support him. He's so great. He's one of my favorite characters in the MCU. I love Samuel L. Jackson. Anything I see him in, I'm like, I'm just going to be totally like, let's watch it. Let's give it a chance. But it was also really interesting because the Skrulls came from such a violent past. Their entire planet was destroyed by the Kree, which they only hint at. They mention it here and there. Like, you don't really know that going into the show. You kind of have to, like, read the comics to get the idea of that. But they came from such a violent past. They trusted Nick Fury. And obviously things happen, you know. There's so many aliens out there that are trying to destroy Earth at all times. And Nick Fury just did his best to stay true to that promise he made to them. And, you know, there was a lot of struggles he went through, and I think we saw him grow as a character because he fell in love with a Skrull woman, And it was a really beautifully tragic relationship. And I'm glad the way they tied it up. But I mean, the whole movie, it felt like a movie, a very long movie.
I know.
It was like a long movie. The whole show, I started feeling more and more emotionally attached to the Skrulls because they really didn't have a place to go. I mean, thank God they're not allergic to radiation, or radiation doesn't really mess them up. They had no choice but to go to like Chernobyl and just build a compound, which is crazy. They had nothing better than an old radiation doom site, they went through a lot. And the Secret Invasion comic is one of my favorites. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm glad they made it a show. I'm not sure what they're going to do from here because we didn't really get any post-credit scenes.
Didn't you call it like they did a Marvel movie, or they did a Captain Marvel movie without doing a Captain Marvel movie?
Yeah. It was like Captain Marvel wasn't there, but she was like briefly mentioned multiple times.
Right.
And
they did a whole series about Captain Marvel without her actually being in it.
I still think he paged her or called her throughout the thing, like throughout the series, just because we have the Marvels coming out.
She was on the other line the whole time.
Yeah, she's like, I'm busy.
Comms.
Can you just figure this out, please? Secret Invasion was a great show. I think everybody should give it a chance. Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson at his best. He really, really did a great job in that. And maybe we'll see him pop up. Ilsa's going to be like, oh, God, you're saying this again. I think he has a future in Star Wars still. I think Mace Windu is alive. And he might not be well. He might be a little old now. But you're telling me you're going to kill Mace Windu like that? Everybody gets thrown out into space in Coruscant. And a lot of people live. You just fall and you land. You landed on a cruiser. He's on some planet. He's alive. Mace Windu is alive.
You have come at me. You have come at me with this fan theory for so long that I believe it now.
I have a script written.
I am on your side now. I 100% believe it. I do believe that Mace Windu is alive. And it's because years of you bullying me into believing it's true.
It was a form of love bullying, if that's a thing. I was bullying you into the right direction, a path that you will love. A path not designed by hate or the dark side,
To the golden path.
Yeah, and I feel like Mace Windu, the whole prequel series, he was the only one that was talking sense. Nobody listened to him. He was like, Anakin, you're not ready to become a Jedi Master. Obi-Wan's like, I don't know, man. Qui-Gon knew this when he was 9 years old. We should give him a chance. He's an adult now, and he's not following the Jedi code. Mace Windu knew this shit. Right. But it always blows my mind that Mace Windu didn't catch on to Palpatine being the Emperor early on. He knew Anakin was going to be Darth Vader, but he didn't know Palpatine was the Emperor. He knew. He probably did know.
This is why he needs his own spin-off to explain that. I would like to know exactly why he understood so many things, but he didn't understand so many other things.
We can CGI everyone now. I mean, you don't even need to CGI Samuel L. Jackson. He looks the exact same. It's been 30 years, and he looks the same. Again, that was a sidetrack, you guys. But Mace Windu is alive. This episode comes to
you from Dye Sport. It acts just like
Botox,
that's
natural.
Dye Sport.
But yeah, you guys, let's get into on the Star Wars note.
We're going to talk about Rhodey.
You want? Oh yeah, with Secret Invasion. I guess we can mention it. We can briefly mention it.
Does everybody know when Rhodey became a Skrull? You don't know? I'm going to tell you
Nobody
right now when Rhodey became a Skrull. Let me take you back to Captain America Civil War, okay? Rhodey got shot down by Vision's lasers, and he became paralyzed from his fall.
I hate Vision.
Okay. Then, he couldn't walk without Stark technology, correct? He was walking in braces?
Right.
Yes, okay. Cut to Secret Invasion, the finale. Everybody walks out of those pods. You know who's not walking out of that pod? Rhodey. He has to be carried by two different people.
The light bulbs are on.
Yes, the light bulb
don't look too hard into them. I'm blind now.
He is still paralyzed, and the fake Rhodey came after Civil War because he could walk fine. It's very possible, he did physical therapy or whatever. There's so many arguments you can make, but the fact that that man could not walk out of those pods and every other single man and woman could walk out of those pods tells me that man is paralyzed, and they know that he's paralyzed, and they know that he's been paralyzed since then. So it was after Civil War. Thank you.
That's a good point.
Now.
That's a good point. I think my favorite part about Rhodey in Secret Invasion was that it was a woman Skrull portraying him.
Yeah.
You see him have that whole, like, towards the end of the season. Again, you guys, spoilers.
Amazing
I am so
actor.
sorry
He
if you haven't
played it
watched
so
it.
femininely.
Yeah, like, I thought that was, again, just like a note on Marvel finally realizing women can do anything. And, like, the fact that Rhodey, a right hand to the president, used to be right hand to Nick Fury, Tony Stark, all of that, and a woman can absolutely fool everyone and play that role very, very well and be a strong man. You know, I thought that was very interesting. That was obviously very meticulously planned for Marvel, and I thought that was cool. I was like, hell yeah. Rhodey's a woman Skrull? Let's go. That makes it even more bad. I almost like the Rhodey Skrull a little bit. I'm almost into
I
it.
can
I'm almost
respect
into
her.
it.
I can respect a bad
Almost
bitch.
into
Yeah,
it.
any day.
Yeah. Any other Secret Invasion notes or no?
That was it. I just want to tell everyone that's when Rhodey turned into a Skrull.
Yeah.
We all know now. Secret cracked.
All right, back into Star Wars.
Okay, let's go.
One of our favorite Star Wars characters, as everybody knows, in a couple weeks, Ahsoka Tano is going to be getting her live action show. August 23rd, I think, you guys. They're spoiling us. We get 2 episodes. It's going to be like an hour and 23 minutes and like 12 seconds. Not that I wrote that down or have it memorized or anything. I'm going to watch it probably 3 times in a row. I think everybody that loves Star Wars, that is into the lore, that even doesn't know a lot about Ahsoka but has been watching live action. We've seen her pop up in the Book of Boba Fett. We've seen her pop up in a lot of different things. It's going to be so amazing to see her have her own show, and it's so due. It's so the perfect time.
All I have to say is you need to watch Clone Wars and you need to watch Rebels before you watch this show.
Yeah.
I know that they introduced her in The Mandalorian and Boba Fett, and that was cool, but to get her full character and how amazing she is and her come up, she is a queen.
She's amazing.
She has 2 lightsabers.
Yeah. Enough said, right? 2 lightsabers. Incredible.
2
This show,
lightsabers.
if you guys are familiar with the animated series in Star Wars, and if you watch Rebels, you know that Rebels kind of ended abruptly with season 4. Ezra was a Thrawn. They were in hyperspeed somewhere. They got lost. And basically nobody started another season, and everybody's kind of been like buffering and waiting for this season. And not only is it going to be an Ahsoka show, it's going to be a Rebels season 5 continuation, which I think is even cooler because
Yeah.
if you guys know about the Ghost Crew, if you know about Rebels, it's almost in comparison to the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a motley crew of amazing people who have been through so much adversity that came together in such a random just situation. And they have one of the best droids in Star Wars, Chopper. I love Chopper so much. I almost love him as much as R2-D2. So I'm really excited to see them collab and have this series.
If R2-D2 and Chopper were hanging off of a cliff, which one would you save?
R2-D2.
Whoa, that was
Yeah.
too quick.
No.
That was real fast.
Hey, I grew up with R2-D2. He was the first droid I ever knew. He was the first one. We go way back, me and R2, you know?
Yeah.
Almost 30 years. But, yeah, you guys, we got to wrap it up.
All right. So, yes, we are going to just wrap it up now. And we have no good way of doing that. But I'm Ilsa.
We ran out of time, you guys.
Yeah,
we nerded out.
did. This is Kyra. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to us rant about just
Everything.
everything. So the things that we rant about are made up in the beginning, and then we started ranting about things that were made up. So I really appreciate that you are here listening to that because it is fiction on top of fiction. So we're like fiction writer, like fan fiction.
I don't know. I feel like everything
we're
we
basically
like,
fan fiction.
everything
in
we start
real
talking
life.
about ends up happening in TV shows and movies. We kind of predict a lot of things.
That's
So
true.
maybe we manifest.
The
Maybe we'll
triple
manifest.
Fs, they listen to our podcast actually, and they've stolen a lot of things.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for being here. We really appreciate everybody. You can find us all YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, Twitter, all of the above. I guess X now. It's not Twitter anymore. It's a little weird. Relatable Nerds. Thank you guys so much. Thanks.
Thank you.